Hello and welcome to I've Won the Lottery Again, our scam busting session. I'm Kathy Chadwick Rayner from Breaking Down Barriers. I'm the Networks and Outreach Coordinator. And Breaking Down Barriers is a network of over 50 organisations working together to bridge the gap between families from diverse communities and healthcare providers. Developing inclusive and accessible services for people affected by genetic conditions and striving for equitable access to healthcare. That's us in a nutshell. Today's scam busting session. We're going to be getting to the facts of scams, and we'll look at the tactics used by scammers to perform medical scams, telephone and text scams, email scams, and social media scams. I'll also provide you with some helpful tips along the way to help you keep safe. And if I could just ask you at the end of this session to perform one key action, please. That could be just taking a little bit of what you've learned today and passing it on to a family member, a friend, or a neighbour, just to help them stay safe from scams. So, what is a scam? On this slide, I'm showing the rear jean pocket of somebody, and there's a hand coming in ready to pickpocket and steal the wallet with cash out of the person's pocket. So a scam is a dishonest and illegal plan aimed at tricking people out of their money or their personal information. Scammers like our personal information, and it's important to keep it secure because they can use our personal information to set up bank accounts in our names, and it's a way of storing or trafficking illegal money. So the personal information we need to keep safe is our full name and date of birth, our address, our telephone numbers, our email address, national insurance number, medical reference number, bank account details, and our PIN, passport details, and passwords. So let's have a look at some of the scam facts. Globally, an estimated £5 trillion a year is lost to scammers. That's £5 trillion lost from your bank accounts, my bank account, our pockets. It's lost from the local economies, that could be spent on valuable services that we all use and access. But in the meantime, scammers' pockets are getting bigger and their wallets getting fatter. So law enforcement worldwide received 266 million reports from scam victims, which was up from 139 million the year before. However, reporting is estimated at only 13%. So why is this? Why don't we report more? The first reason people will resist reporting is embarrassment. I've learnt this from a lot of the workshops that I ran with community groups and surveys that I had organisations complete. Embarrassment. People are embarrassed about admitting that they've been scammed. I want to do away with this idea of being embarrassed. There is absolutely no need to be embarrassed. Scammers, think of it like this, scammers use their time 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's their job to try and trick and con us out of our money. They have the latest gadgets, they have the know-how, they have the technology, and they have the charm. They know what they're doing and they are very good at what they do. So there's absolutely no reason to be embarrassed about being scammed. So other reasons why we don't report, it might be that we don't realise that we're being scammed, and also fear of repercussions. Some of the emails, the texts, messages, or on social media, etc., telephone calls, they can be very threatening from scammers. So fear of repercussions is right up there as another reason not to report. Also loss of independence. Some people might not like to report to their family members that they've been scammed because they're worried that the family will step in and take over their finances because they can't see or they don't think that they can look after themselves. So a lot of people won't even talk about it and share it with their loved ones because of a fear of loss of independence. And finally, lots of people just do not know where to report scams. Okay. So let's go on and have a look at some of the scam tactics. Medical scams. On the screen, there is a supplement pot, or what looks like a supplement pot or a vitamin pot, and on it it says Kathy's Cures. There's also an image of a figure that's running as if to say, whatever, if you take the product that's inside this pot, you know, it'll make you more mobile. And on the label it also says joints, no more pain. It's obviously giving the image that the product inside this pot is really good for you. Okay, so watch out for the curious claim. When thinking about buying medicines or supplements or beauty products such as age-defying face creams or diet pills that promise you'll lose 2 stone in 6 weeks, please just stop and pause and ask yourself, how do I know these are safe? Yep. And scammers also use tried and tested marketing techniques such as 60-day free trial. Beware of the free trial. To place an order for a free trial, what do you have to do? You normally have to give your name, your address, your telephone number and email. Sometimes they ask for your date of birth to check that you're eligible to take the product. So think about all that personal information you're giving away. And it's a free trial. But what do they also ask you to do? They ask you to pay for package and postage. So they want you to supply your bank details or your card details as well. So just beware, it's not a free trial, is it? If you're paying for package and postage, it's not free, but also what information are you giving away? Another tactic scammers use can be trying to entice customers to sign up for 6 months worth of product and you get another 6 months free. Yeah, they ask you to sign up to pay, you know, on a monthly basis, and you might think that you're setting up a direct debit or a standing order. But beware of what is known as a continuous payment authority, a CPA. A CPA is an agreement between you and the seller. It gives the seller permission to take money from your account on a regular basis. It cuts out the bank. The problems start when you no longer want to buy the product. Yeah, it doesn't agree with you. You don't think it's working. So you decide to stop. If you've signed a CPA, you're actually given the seller permission to continue to take money from your account. And scammers will do that. They will continue to take money from your account and keep sending you fake goods. Unfortunately, a lot of banks can't help you with this because they're excluded from the agreement. It's not a direct debit. So please read the small print for continuous payment authorities, CPAs. So let's have a look at some helpful tips. On this slide, I'm showing the picture of a hand, and across the palm it says take 5, and underneath it says to stop fraud. So Take 5 is a campaign that's been running for years. The aim of the campaign is to try to get people to stop, think, and take 5 seconds or 5 minutes before acting. So if you're asked for your personal information or your bank details or security information, just stop, take 5. Stop, think, is this a scam? Listen to your gut, listen to your instincts. And you'll hear me say throughout this session, take 5, remember to take 5. Okay. So let's have a look at some helpful tips for shopping online. On the screen now, on this slide, I'm showing 2 address bars to websites. The top one shows a locked padlock within the red circle or red oval. It shows a locked padlock and HTTPS and then the name of the website you're going to. That is the secure site. Below is an example of an insecure site. In the red oval, you can see an unlocked padlock and HTTP no S. The S is missing. It's an insecure site. It doesn't mean it's a scam website. It just means it's insecure. So if you put your details in there when you're ordering something, or your bank details, your address, etc., your information is going on an insecure site. So when shopping online, always check the websites are secure, look for the locked padlock and the S in the address bar. So let's have a look at telephone and text scams. Just remember that scammers like to use sneaky tactics. Now, scammers like to play on our hopes and dreams and our fears. Okay, so on the screen, I've got a landline telephone ringing and a mobile phone and a laptop. So scam calls can vary from a call telling you that you've won the lottery, a holiday or a car, all wonderful news, playing on hopes and dreams. And they can also be a call to say, you owe taxes or you owe a fine. And if you don't pay today, we'll send the bailiffs round, or you'll be prosecuted, playing on fear, scare tactics. Scammers take on many disguises. One example of a scam call is when the scammer rings you and pretends to be from your broadband provider, saying that there's a fault on your line and that actually, if you press this button, press that button, you can give them remote access and they'll fix the problem. They might even offer to give you £200 compensation for the poor service that you've had already with your broadband. Once on your device though, beware. If you give somebody a remote access, they can, in the background, secretly access all your files, and also they're looking for your online banking accounts. Sometimes they'll even hold your files to ransom. So, helpful tips with callers. As I've mentioned in that previous example, please don't give remote access to someone who's just called you out of the blue. Don't let them onto your laptop or your PC. The best tip I can give you is to contact your telecoms provider. Ask for call filtering or call blocking services. Also, if the phone's ringing, consider whether you should answer it, or should you just let it go to voicemail or answer phone. Then you can check out if they leave a message or check out the number. Also, if you are going to answer it, just pause and don't speak first. Let the caller speak first. So you answer the phone, wait, is there that long silent pause? Because a lot of scam calls are voice activated. As soon as you go, hello, it triggers and gets redirected to somebody who is then going to speak to you and engage with you, possibly about a scam. So try get into the habit of pausing before you speak. And with texts, if you sent a text and it's asking you to click a link or dial a number, please don't do this. If you click a link, you could be downloading viruses to your device, or it could lead you to fake websites, scam websites. Please don't use public Wi-Fi to access your bank details. It leaves them vulnerable to scammers. You could consider Googling the caller's number to check them out. And please learn how to block and report on your phone. Each device has its own way of blocking and reporting texts or telephone calls. Just ask someone to help if you're not sure with your device. And in the UK, you can forward scam texts to 7726. Okay, and consider a call blocker. On this screen, I'm showing an image of a call blocking device, which works with your landline device, with your landline telephone. It allows you to block calls as you go along. And then once that person's blocked, they won't come through again. And if you accidentally block somebody, a friend or a family member, you can unblock them, I should say. So consider a call blocking device. You can purchase these online. And finally, remember to take 5. Stop, think, is this a scam? So let's move on to email scams. On this slide is an example of an email pretending to come from the UK government and the tax department. It's offering an annual tax refund. Now, scammers like to pretend to be other people in authority, so they will say that they are from the courts, your bank, the government, or sometimes they'll just mimic organisations such as Apple, Netflix, as mentioned, your broadband provider. And it's easy for them to copy logos and headers of organisations. So some of these emails look really genuine. So let's take a closer look at this one. At the top of this supposed annual tax refund, it's blank. It doesn't say dear and your name. Yeah, sometimes they will say dear customer, or they'll say dear, and it'll just include your email. Beware of those signs. Always look for your name. In this case, it's just been left blank. And also look for, are they asking you to follow a link? Here it's saying submit annual tax refund form, and you have to click the link. Again, if you do that, you could be downloading viruses, or it'll take you to a fake website that'll ask you to input all of your personal information. So, helpful tips with emails. Remember not to click on links or call numbers that are given to you in emails. If it looks like it's coming from your bank and it says that there's been some unusual activity on your account or something like that, please don't click on the link or call the number, but do ring your bank, get in touch with them. Use the number on the back of your card or the number on your statement, a number that you know is safe and is genuine. Okay, and also on the screen now, I'm showing a laptop and I'm showing there's a red oval around the webcam at the top of the laptop. I don't want to scaremonger here because it is really quite rare, but scammers can actually get access to your webcam. So consider covering your webcam with a piece of blue tack or piece of paper when you're not using it. You can even buy little webcam clips now online. And if you do get an email that says, you don't know me, but I know you and your password is, and they give you your password, please don't be scared or prompted to act on that. And certainly don't give in to any demands. The first thing you should do is change your password straight away. Often scammers just get our passwords from data breaches that have occurred. So if you change your password, what makes a good password? Use 2 or 3 words and a couple of numbers and a special character like an exclamation mark or an @ sign. Don't use pet names or family names or dates of birth, etc. Just think of 2 or 3 words that are useful to you, that only you know, that nobody else knows, and use upper and lowercase letters. Okay, and then learn how to delete and block senders of scam emails. So the way you can do this is if you hover over the email and you right click on the mouse, you'll get a drop down box and it gives you the option to block the sender and to junk the email. That's the best thing to do to deal with them. And also, remember to take 5. So moving on to social media and romance scams. So on the screen now, I'm just showing somebody texting on a mobile phone, and the message says, "I love you and can't wait to see you." Now, romance scams are just horrendous. They play on loneliness and they play on isolation. Scammers, they trawl people's profiles to get to know their next target. They will look at a person's likes, dislikes, their family setup, any pets, any of their interests they'll get to know. So they'll build up a picture about their next target, and then they'll make contact. Yeah. And when they do make contact, they will shower that person with lots of compliments, and they'll sound really interested in that person. But what they'll do is they'll ask the person lots of questions to gain more and more information about them and build up this lovely friendship. And then they'll say you can't call them back because they work in the military, or they work on social hours, or there's never a signal at their side. They'll contact you. They make it very difficult for you to contact them, and they share very little information about themselves. Once they've developed this relationship, this friendship, that's when the scam starts, or it's already started. They suddenly announce out of the blue that something's gone wrong in their life. So watch out for telltale signs of this. Sometimes they get tearful on the phone and they'll say, "I've just lost my job. I can't pay my mortgage. I'm gonna lose my house, or I'm gonna be evicted. I can't pay the rent." Or a family member's suddenly been taken ill and needs this urgent operation. Can you help? Can you send some money? That's the warning sign when they start asking for money. The other thing is they might play on hopes, on your dreams. "I'd love to see it. I'd love for us to meet up. I can't afford the airfare. Can you just send me the airfare? I'll see you next week." I've known people waiting at airports for the person to arrive, and they never turn up. There's always an excuse. You know, they got a puncture on the way to the airport, or they were involved in an accident on the way to the airport, and it's too late by this time, but you've already sent the money. So key signs to watch out for romance scams on social media. Once they start asking for money, think scam. It's awful if you think you've made a good friend, you know, you're into some sort of relationship with them. But when they start asking for money, please stop and think. Take 5. So helpful hints with social media. Consider your profile picture. Yeah. You know, social media is absolutely fantastic. It combats isolation. It helps us connect, make new friends. It brings fun to our lives. Yes, it helps us stay connected if used safely. So consider what your profile picture looks like and what does it say to potential scammers. So if using social media, yeah, think about the picture you're going to put out there. On this screen, there's a picture of a couple with their son. What that says to the scammer is, this son, this young man is protected. You know, he's got his family looking out for him. So the UK police actually say that the most powerful picture any young person can have as their profile picture on social media is with their family and their parents' arms around them. It says that they're safe, they're protected. The last thing you should do really is, or avoid doing really, is having a picture by yourself in your bedroom, because what does that say to scammers? Yeah, I know it's not cool for teenagers to have the pictures of their parents with their arms around them. So consider perhaps having pictures with your friends in a group, or a picture of your sports team or a cartoon character, etc. Think about what image you are putting out there, what message. So also check your privacy settings. You can set them to just me or to just friends. Just see how much you were sharing with potential scammers. And also, if you're considering dating websites, please stay on the dating website. Try not to be lured away to where you communicate with somebody who wants to establish a relationship with you. And just beware that you might be revealing your telephone number or your email if you go onto a different site. Okay, so stay on safe sites. And another top tip is Google yourself, see what's out there about yourself. Yeah, just put your name in, see what's out there. Reverse image search is a good one in Google. Take your profile picture and right click on it and do search the web for image. It's something like that. And you can see what, or you can see if anybody else is using your image or similar pictures will come up. But if your image is being used, it should throw it up and you'll be able to see where your image is out there. You know, is it on certain websites? Is somebody else using yours on a fake account? So reverse image search is a good pointer. And always remember to take 5. If something feels uncomfortable, if somebody's asking you to do something and you're not happy with it, don't be pushed into it. Listen to your instincts. Always know you're not alone and speak to somebody you trust. Get them to help vet friends' requests or block followers that you're not happy with. So finally, you are now a scam buster. I know it might seem quite scary that there's lots of scammers out there trying to get a hold of our money and hold of our private information. Well, you've just made their job a lot harder. You are now scam aware. You know the tactics they use. It's going to be more difficult for them. So please feel safe. You're not alone. You know how to look out for scams. So what will your one key action be today? I'm hoping that you will share one scam safety tip with a member of the family, a loved one, a neighbour or a friend. Okay, and that will help keep us all safe. Let's keep talking about scams and sharing any that we come across with each other so that we all stay safe. Okay, and we'll also make it a top tips guide available to you. So that will be going onto our website and you'll have access to that just as soon as we put that up there. Thank you ever so much for listening. Stay safe.